that somebody shared on Twitter X on social media, and it is of Big Ten coaches talking about how they would use Caitlin Clark. And also, I've got a friendly reminder for everybody of exactly how big of a failure Stephanie White was at Vanderbilt.
Caitlin Clark has been sidelined for most of the season. She's missed more than half of Indiana's games. Her scoring is down. Her three-point shot hasn't been falling. But instead of talking about herself, she's been singing the praises of someone else. Head coach Stephanie White. And when you break down what White has done to keep the Fever in the playoff hunt without their superstar, you start to realize this isn't just good coaching, it's championship-caliber leadership. Let's dive in. This year was supposed to be the season Caitlin Clark solidified herself, not just as the WNBA's biggest star, but as one of the league's most dominant players. After her Rookie of the Year campaign, after setting both the single-game and single-season assist records, she entered 2025 with sky-high expectations. But injuries have wrecked that plan. A left leg injury in the preseason, a quad issue that took her out for nearly 2 weeks, then a left groin problem, and now a right groin injury that's kept her off the floor for the past month. All told, Clark has missed 19 of Indiana's 33 games. In the 8 games she's played during that stretch, she's averaged 13.3 points and 8.6 assists. But her shooting slump is real. Just 11 for 55 from deep, a brutal 20%.
Do you think an NBA coach that's worth a grain of salt would not use something like the DeWanna Bonner situation to piss off the squad and get them ready to play? Or how about the fact that one of your stars on your team, Sophie Cunningham, played there forever, and they're going back to Phoenix?
Someone who never missed a game at Iowa, who played every contest in her rookie season, this has been an entirely new and frustrating experience. Yet, instead of sulking, Clark has stayed locked in with the team. She's traveled to every game. She's been a constant voice from the bench. And most importantly, she's made it clear she respects what Stephanie White has been able to do in her absence. That says everything about where this team's mindset is. When you lose a player who uses 31.4% of your possessions, you have 2 choices. Try to replace her production directly, or reinvent your offense. Stephanie White chose the second option, and it's why Indiana has a winning record without their star. Without Clark's deep shooting threat stretching the floor, White has leaned harder into post play and ball movement. Aaliyah Boston has become the offensive anchor, demanding double teams in the paint and punishing single coverage. Kelsey Mitchell has stepped into the alpha scorer role, getting the ball in isolation spots late in games. Sophie Cunningham has turned into a reliable secondary shooter, while Natasha Howard's versatility has been a lifeline in different matchups. White hasn't just rebalanced the offense, she's transformed the defense. Indiana started the year 11th in defensive efficiency. Now, they're up to 8th, and their net improvement, cutting 1 point per 100 possessions below league average, ranks among the best in WNBA history. That's coaching, that's preparation, and that's why Clark's praise carries weight, because this is more than just keeping the team afloat, it's building a playoff-ready system. When Caitlin Clark went down, the first question on everyone's mind was, who's going to take over? For most teams, losing a generational playmaker like Clark isn't just a setback. It's a death sentence for the season. But Indiana didn't just survive, they evolved. Without Clark's 31.4% usage rate dominating possessions, the Fever were forced to find different ways to generate offense. And it wasn't just one player stepping up, it was everyone.
I wasn't flexing the fact that, the finals were so cheap because Caitlin Clark isn't there last year. No, I just bought courtside seats. Like, it is what it is. It is what it is. I just bought the courtside seats for the price that would have been a ticket in the bleachers to watch Caitlin play. But they plummeted 49% and they're down to $64. I wonder what price they are right now. I'm just going to check what the get-in price
Kelsey Mitchell, one of the league's most underrated scorers, went from being a complimentary piece to a certified closer. She's taking those end-of-shot clock fadeaways, those crunch-time pull-up jumpers, and making them at a clip that keeps Indiana in games late. Aaliyah Boston? She's embraced being the focal point in the post. Opponents can't single cover her without getting punished. Her footwork has improved, her touch is better, and she's become a playmaker out of double teams, hitting cutters, finding shooters, and making the right reads. That's the mark of a true franchise cornerstone. Sophie Cunningham's role has shifted from streaky shooter to consistent perimeter threat, keeping defenses honest and punishing help defenders. Natasha Howard's veteran presence has been invaluable, guarding multiple positions, attacking closeouts, and rebounding like a beast. Even Lexi Hull has emerged as a defensive tone setter, taking on the toughest perimeter assignments and forcing turnovers. The result? A more unpredictable, harder-to-scout offense. Instead of everything flowing through Clark, the Fever now have multiple ways to hurt you. Inside-out scoring, balanced ball movement, defensive stops leading to fast breaks. It's not as flashy as a 30-foot Clark three-pointer, but it's winning basketball. And here's the kicker. Caitlin Clark sees this. From the bench, she's watching her team grow in ways that will make her life easier when she returns. This isn't the same Fever team she left. It's a more confident, more balanced, more dangerous group. And that's exactly what you want heading into the postseason. Let's talk about the stakes here, because the Fever aren't just chasing a playoff spot. They're playing for seeding that could decide their postseason fate. Right now, Indiana sits at 18-14 with 12 games left in the expanded 44-game season. They need just 5 more wins to surpass last year's 20-20 mark, which was already their best season since 2016. But this isn't about .500 anymore. This is about climbing the standings high enough to avoid the WNBA's elite in the first round.
Again, just like I said last night, if you take away the 4 victories over the Chicago Sky, this team is 14-14.
Here's the path. They face the Dallas Wings tonight, a team they've already beaten 3 times this year, twice without Clark. Then they get the Washington Mystics, a young team with talent but inconsistent execution. And after that, they play the Connecticut Sun, currently holding the league's worst record at 5-26. That's 3 games that, on paper, Indiana should win. If they do, they'll have a cushion heading into the tougher part of the schedule. That cushion matters because it means they can focus on fine-tuning their rotation and keeping players fresh without the pressure of a must-win scenario every night. It's also the perfect setup for a late-season Clark return. Imagine she comes back with 4 or 5 games left, enough time to get her conditioning back, enough reps to regain her shooting touch, and enough minutes to sync with the team's new offensive rhythm. That's like adding a turbocharger to a car that's already been winning races. And Stephanie White knows how to use momentum. Back in 2015, she guided the Fever to the WNBA Finals on the back of a late-season surge. The blueprint's right there. Get hot, get healthy, and ride the wave into the postseason. If they execute, Indiana could be the most dangerous lower seed in the entire bracket. This is where things get scary for the rest of the league. Right now, Indiana is proving they can win without Caitlin Clark scoring. They've leaned on depth, defense, and a shared offensive load. When she comes back, she's not going to be asked to save the season. She's going to be asked to supercharge a system that's already working. Think about it. Clark's deep shooting pulls defenders out past the three-point line, opening driving lanes for Boston and Mitchell. Her passing turns good shots into great ones, those quick cross-court lasers to corner shooters, those no-look bounce passes to cutters. Even in a shooting slump, she demands defensive attention every second she's on the floor. But the real danger? Her competitive fire. Clark's never been sidelined like this before. At Iowa, she was an Iron Woman. Missing 19 games this season has been pure fuel. When she returns, she's not coming back to ease in. She's coming back to attack. Every possession, every shot, every defensive rotation. That kind of energy is contagious and it can flip a playoff series. Add in the fact that this Fever roster has built chemistry without her, and you have a perfect storm. A star player returning to a team that's already figured out how to win. No rust issues, no figuring it out on the fly, just instant impact. If Clark returns in time for the postseason, we could see a scenario where Indiana goes from a middle seed to a team nobody wants to face. This is the exact formula Stephanie White had in 2015 when she made the finals. The difference now, she's got a generational talent ready to close the deal.
I cannot believe that I had not seen this up to this point. I cannot believe that I had not seen this. But everywhere, and I mean it, everywhere Caitlin Clark has gone, she has been swarmed. Apparently she's somewhere here. Apparently she is somewhere here. And it's clear that there are hundreds, if not thousands of people showing up anywhere Caitlin Clark is at All-Star Weekend. Like,